In this video, you'll learn some of the new capabilities of Lightroom's spot removal tool. So I'm in the Develop module, and I'll come over here to the tool strip underneath the histogram, and I can either select the spot removal icon or just hit the Q key. All right, so this spot removal tool now has gotten so much better. It always was amazing, but now with the new capabilities, which I'll show you shortly, this has become a really powerful tool in Lightroom. So I'm going to start off by showing one of the cool new things you can do right away. You see this telephone line or power line? In the past, in order to get rid of this, I would have had to go over to Photoshop and use the clone tool. I can do this now in Lightroom for the first time, and it's really exciting. Let me go ahead and go to one-to-one view. I'm going to drag on over to the start of that wire right there. I use the navigator to position myself there. Now I'm going to start just like I've always started in the past with the spot removal tool, by just placing my cursor over the area and then clicking. Okay, so that's all we would have gotten in the past. But now watch what happens with the new version of Lightroom. I'm going to hold down the space bar and kind of work my way down this line to the very end. And I'm going to get to the very end of this line. I'm going to hold down the Shift key. This is the critical thing to know. I'm going to hold down the Shift key and click. Now Lightroom's doing some pretty fancy calculations there. Let me go back to fill so you can see what happened. That line is gone. It's done a wonderful job of removing that line. I used the clone setting, by the way, which I think works better in this case. All right, so this isn't the end of it. There's more things to show off. I want to now get rid of some of the sensor dust that is in the continuous tone area. And in the past, I would have to enlarge my image and maybe use the navigator to move around, just looking for spots because I know they're there. And it's kind of a tedious, slow job. But now I'm going to go back to fill, and you can see at the very bottom here in the toolbar, visualize spots. I can select that, or I can hit the A key, and look what happens. It gives me quite a view of my image, and I can very quickly see where there might be some spots. I can adjust the visualize spot to preview here by moving this slider left and right. Now, obviously not everything here is a spot to be removed, but it gives me a good starting point. When I hit the A key again, I saw something up here that clearly looked like a spot from my sensor dust. There it is right there. Now this has always been pretty easy to get rid of in Lightroom with the spot removal tool, but let me show you now some of the other things you can do to get rid of that spot. In the past, you would just place your cursor over the spot and click, and frankly, that works great. Okay, that still works really well. I'm going to go ahead and delete that now because I want to show you something else you can do. If you hold down the Option or Alt key and Command or Control key at the same time, see how your cursor turns into a crosshair. So now when I click and drag, I can create a circle starting off in the point where I've clicked right there. And then when I let go, it removes that spot. So as always, if I hit the H key, that will hide or show the spot, both the target and the source. And the other thing that you can do if you want to, you hold your cursor in the circle here and right click, and you can toggle between clone and heal, or select a new source if you want Lightroom to try again. In this case, I think it was pretty satisfied with what it found. It didn't seem to, let me see what's going on there. Yeah, it tried another source. Okay, so if you're not happy with the first automatic selection, you can have it select a new source, either there or the / key. Or you can delete straight from the contextual menu, or you can reset the spot removal tool right here. This is something you may not have been aware of that's always at your fingertips in Lightroom. Okay, so I'll go ahead and just leave that there. Now, up to now in Lightroom, you've been constrained by using a circle, but with the new spot removal tool, we can now create different shapes. So let me find something else here. Okay. Let's heal this or fix this peeling paint. Now in the past we would click and drag and we could only work with the circle, but now with Lightroom 5 I can click and drag, and look, I can actually paint right over an area. Let's say if it's not a perfect circle, I can click and paint to any shape I want. there. And once again, I can always change the source by just dragging that around until I get it just right. I can also change the size of the brush, obviously, and paint. So I could hit a bunch of spots right there. So this is all new to Lightroom 5. To summarize, Lightroom's new spot removal tools have made a good tool so much better.